Hello again my friends. The Xbox 360 controller is widely regarded as the greatest controller ever made, but with the introduction of the Xbox One, Microsoft is tweaking the formula with a new design and over 40 enhancements. So the big question is this: has Microsoft managed to improve upon perfection? Let's start with the front of the controller. Now, the guide button is the most noticeable difference on the new controller. It's been moved from the centre of the pad to between the bumpers. Microsoft has kept fairly quiet about the exact functionality of this particular button. According to IGN, it will act in pretty much the same way as it did for the 360, but of course it will now cater for the Xbox One's additional features. For example, if you get a Skype call while playing Destiny, you'd press the guide button and the caller would immediately pop into view. Thing is, if you're playing Destiny, why the chuff would you want to accept a Skype call? Microsoft's official site explains that this button also automatically tells Kinect who is gaming and tracks who is holding which controller, allowing for seamless pick up and play gaming. The thumbsticks are slightly smaller and use 25% less force to move them. Microsoft has also tightened up the thumbstick's dead zone, so even the slightest amount of movement will register, and this will give gamers greater precision with in-game movement. More importantly, it will allow developers far more freedom to experiment with different types of motion. As you can see, the view button replaces the 360's back button. Now, this button will provide more information in games and apps. For example, it will bring up your inventory or map in an RPG, or perhaps the leaderboard in a first-person shooter. The function of the view button will be driven by developers, so expect more creative developers to put this button to good use. The menu button replaces the 360 start button and brings up context-specific menus depending on what you're doing at that particular time. So, if you're watching a Blu-ray DVD, for example, you might get additional on-screen commands. If you're playing a game and you want to go to the multiplayer menus, you'd press this button. Both the view and menu buttons will also have functionality in the Xbox One's user interface. Even the controller's X, Y, A and B buttons have been tweaked. Time to get a little technical. These buttons are now called triple shot buttons, meaning that each button took 3 separate plastic injection mouldings, basically to make them look even cooler than before. The buttons are also slightly closer together and require even less force to push down. Onto the directional pad, which was easily the 360's biggest weakness. Thankfully, the 360's circular D-pad has been redesigned so that it's ultra responsive to both sweeping and directional movements, which should make for greater precision when playing fighting games, for example. You'll be able to spam Hadoukens like a pro. Now, if we look at the back of the controller, you'll notice the 360's bulky battery pack is no longer visible. It's actually been integrated into the back of the controller, rather than jutting out from it. If we look at the controller from above, we can see just how much difference this makes to the controller's look and the way it handles. More room for bigger hands. Now, perhaps the coolest new addition to the controller is the impulse triggers, actual vibration motors within the triggers, which delivers precise rumble feedback to your fingertips depending on the kind of action happening on the screen. Some cool examples will be that every weapon in Halo 5 would feel different when shooting it, or imagine directional rumble feedback so you get a sense of exactly where gunfire is coming from. So if you're getting blasted from the left, your left trigger will rumble. This is the kind of feature that will have us wondering how we ever did without it, and it's the feature I'm most excited about. At the bottom of the controller you can see the high-speed data port, which allows you to attach additional accessories to the controller, like stereo headsets, which you couldn't do with the Xbox 360. The controller's software is more advanced than its predecessor and has a higher bandwidth connection, essentially future-proofing the controller. Now, it's worth noting that the new controller will not work with current 360 headsets, nor can you use 360 controllers with the Xbox One or vice versa. This could mean a focus on using the chat capabilities of the new Kinect, which remember comes with every console, or possibly a new type of headset being made. So guys, your thoughts please. What do you think of Xbox One's new controller? Leave a comment and let me know. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for Xbox One, Destiny and Halo news, and thanks for watching, you beautiful bastards. Here comes that mother chuff of a boom. Oh, that's right, you can't get rid of me that easily. Click on this little picky poo for more Destiny news. Go on, it's quite good and stuff.